It's a popular buffet with 6 locations around the Bay Area, but one of its restaurants had to stop serving food for almost 24 hours. Did you just eat here?
Yes, I did.
All-you-can-eat buffets, a paradise of endless food and endless choices. For one fixed price, you can get unlimited trips to a wonderland of gluttony, where saucy meatballs can cozy up next to egg rolls on the same plate, and a tub of chocolate pudding sits proudly on the salad bar. The buffet is a celebration of excess. It exists for those who want it all. Imagine walking into Golden Corral on a busy evening. The aroma of fried chicken and carved roast beef wafts through the air. It seems like food heaven. Yet behind the scenes, food safety nightmares can lurk. In 2013, a Golden Corral employee in Florida felt compelled to expose what was happening out back. He filmed raw hamburger patties, ribs, chicken, and bacon being stashed by a dumpster, with flies buzzing around, allegedly to hide the food from health inspectors. An employee whistleblower claimed the restaurant's manager had ordered food to be temporarily stored by the trash to avoid scrutiny during an inspection. Golden Corral's corporate office later insisted none of that dumpster side food was ever served and fired the manager involved.
Want it inspected
because it was being thawed improperly and not by procedure.
Home tells us the food was improperly handled.
Green bean casserole, all your patty melts, your pot roast meat.
According to Holmes, surveillance video captured the whole thing on camera, and the food was never served to customers.
Once we found out immediately what had happened, and we threw all the product away.
We pulled the state inspection records and found since 2012 the restaurant's been cited 16 times.
But the damage was done. The viral video seared into the public's mind an image of buffet food sitting in the summer heat next to garbage. This wasn't an isolated incident of buffet woes. Golden Corral and other buffets have seen serious outbreaks of foodborne illness. In late 2012, a norovirus outbreak at a Golden Corral in Casper, Wyoming, infected at least 305 people. Investigators suspected that sick employees helped spread the highly contagious virus to patrons. Norovirus, infamously known as the cruise ship virus, causes severe vomiting and diarrhea, not exactly the outcome you expect after your all-you-can-eat buffet. The restaurant had to shut down temporarily and sanitize everything. Such outbreaks lay bare a fundamental risk of buffets. So many people touching the same serving utensils and hovering over the same food can turn a buffet line into a petri dish. Innocent sneeze or an employee's unwashed hands can contaminate that endless salad or pasta bowl. Sneeze guards exist for a reason, but they can only do so much. Golden Corral's record isn't spotless in this regard. In addition to the Casper norovirus case, the chain suffered a salmonella outbreak in 2003 that sickened dozens in Ohio. While Golden Corral has since tightened health policies, especially after the pandemic, introducing glove requirements and staff-served buffet lines, the inherent challenges of buffet-style dining remain. Food sits out for long periods, kept warm in chafing dishes that might not always stay at safe temperatures. And if that fried chicken has been out for hours because it didn't get replaced promptly, it could become a bacterial time bomb. All you can eat can quickly become all you can catch if sanitation slips. Buffets practically invite you to pile your plate high, and many of us oblige. Who hasn't felt the urge to grab a little of everything when faced with a mile-long buffet? But this indulgence comes with a cost. Food waste on an epic scale. Buffets actually generate more food waste than any other restaurant format. Picture the Golden Corral buffet on a bustling Saturday. Up to 900 people may come through the doors in a single day, each taking heaping portions. Inevitably, a significant chunk of those mashed potatoes, carved meats, and buttered rolls ends up scraped into the garbage. Studies estimate that anywhere from 5 to 25% of any given dish at a buffet will be wasted, either because the kitchen overestimated demand or because diners' eyes were bigger than their stomachs. And remarkably, over 70% of buffet waste is plate waste, food that customers served themselves but left uneaten. Once that food has been on someone's plate, it can't be donated. It's pure trash. This mountain of excess is the dark flip side of the all-you-can-eat promise. Buffets encourage overconsumption. After all, you want to get your money's worth. The result? Diners grab more than they can finish, and perfectly good food ends up in the dumpster nightly. At Golden Corral, an employee from an online AMA revealed that managers would eye tables for wasted food and even consider charging customers extra for excessive leftovers. Some buffets have gone as far as posting signs, warning that wasted food may incur a penalty, trying to dissuade the worst offenders. The visuals at closing time are sobering. Trays of untouched fried chicken headed for the trash, carving stations with prime rib ends to be discarded, and plates on tables still loaded with half-eaten desserts. All this in a country where millions go hungry. America throws away nearly 40% of its food supply overall, and buffets are certainly part of that tragedy. And then there's the toll on our bodies. Buffets encourage what can only be described as gluttony. We've all seen it. The stacks of half-full plates left behind and the sweaty, glazed look of someone who's eaten far more than they should have. Perhaps you've been that person, undoing the top button of your pants in a booth at Golden Corral, determined to sample one more slice of pie. The buffet format almost dares you to overeat. It's all you can eat, not all you should eat. Many diners leave feeling uncomfortably stuffed, regretting that fifth trip for banana pudding. The overconsumption isn't just a personal problem. It reflects and perhaps fuels broader issues like rising obesity. The psychology of scarcity and value kicks in hard at buffets. We eat more than we need to feel. We beat the house, even if our bodies pay the price later. What really happens in the kitchen and back rooms of a buffet? Over the years, employees and whistleblowers have given us unsettling peeks behind the curtain. We've already heard about one Golden Corral manager hiding meat by a dumpster, an extreme case. But what about everyday practices? One former Golden Corral worker, via a Reddit AMA under the alias Buffet Worker, actually reassured the public that most buffet food is fresh each day. According to him, 98% of items are cooked that day, and leftovers are rarely reused. Aside from occasionally repurposing yesterday's roast chicken or steak into today's fajita mix. On the face of it, that sounds comforting. However, even he admitted not everything is as wholesome as it looks. Nearly all the food arrives pre-packaged and frozen, from the vegetables to the meat. Those seemingly fresh green beans on the buffet, likely from a frozen bag. The carrot cake, delivered frozen and thawed. This is how buffets keep prices low, but it means that behind the scenes, the chefs are often more like reheaters and assemblers than culinary artists. And yes, there have been gross moments. The same employee recalled seeing a manager drop a whole roast beef on the kitchen floor, wash it off in the sink, and then serve it to customers. A moment of truth. Someone out there unknowingly ate floor roast beef with their au jus. Another buffet worker chimed in that the worst messes aren't always in the kitchen. Customers can be shockingly unhygienic too. Workers have had to clean up patrons who, in bizarre acts of revenge or perceived slights, defecated on restroom floors or smeared feces on walls. It seems the dark side of buffets can bring out the worst in people, on both sides of the counter. Employees also witness the bizarre behaviors buffets elicit. Golden Corral staff have stories of diners trying to smuggle food out in purses and pockets. Every now and then, one worker said, managers will whisper to watch a certain table because they suspect an older lady is slipping fried chicken into her purse. In one infamous incident, a woman was actually kicked out of a Golden Corral for attempting to take home extra brownies in her handbag after allegedly eating all the brownies on the buffet. Buffets bring out a kind of survivalist hoarder mentality in some folks. They get it before it's gone urge, and employees are left to play food police. It's worth noting that Golden Corral, like many chains, officially has rules against taking home buffet food to prevent exactly this type of behavior. But enforcing those rules can lead to confrontation and, as we saw, even comical scandal. Finally, consider the sheer scale of operations that employees must manage. Golden Corral's kitchens are like food factories. On a busy day, a single location might grill hundreds of steaks, bake dozens of trays of yeast rolls, and churn out vats of mashed potatoes. It's exhausting work by a relatively small crew, since buffets minimize labor costs. Buffets often break even on food costs and make profits by sparing staff, using a skeleton crew of cooks and almost no servers. Employee testimonies talk about the pressure to keep the pans full and presentable at all times. When one tray runs low, there's a mad dash to replace it, or occasionally a sly shuffle, like stirring the remaining food to cover up the bare spots. Buffet operators have mastered mind games to influence our choices and protect their profits, and customers in turn have developed peculiar behaviors in response. For starters, buffets intentionally design the flow of food to nudge you toward cheaper, filling items. Ever notice how the first things in line at a Golden Corral buffet are usually inexpensive carbs and starches, like dinner rolls, pasta, or rice? That's no accident. Studies show 75% of buffet customers choose whatever food is the first tray, and that about 2/3 of all the food a person eats will come from the first 3 items they see. So buffets put the cheapest, most filling dishes up front to load your plate early. By the time you reach the carving station or the pricier entrees, your plate is already crowded with buttered bread and mac and cheese. Then there's the plate trick. Buffets typically use smaller plates and bowls to naturally limit how much food you can take in one trip. Golden Corral and others know that if you have a tiny plate, you'll put reasonable portions, and you might feel shy about grabbing 5 plates in one go. Likewise, the serving utensils are manipulated. You'll find huge spoons for mashed potatoes and casserole, so you scoop up a big mound of cheap filler, but little tongs or tiny forks for the steak and carved meats. The result? It's physically harder to grab large quantities of the expensive items. Even beverage strategy comes into play. Ever gotten a giant plastic cup for your soda at a buffet? Buffets love when you fill up on drinks. Soda can cost them only a few cents per refill, and they often charge extra for it. A $2.99 drink is pure profit. Plus, a belly full of cola means less room for costly food. Water is usually free, and servers will refill your glass constantly, encouraging you to gulp down fluids that make you feel full. As the doors close at the end of a long day at Golden Corral, the dining room falls silent. The last customer shuffles out, clutching full bellies, and the kitchen employees dump pans of congealed gravy and dried out corn into trash bags. The remains of that promise of endless food. The dark side of all you can eat lies in those trash bags, in the corners cut when nobody's watching, and in the overfed yet undernourished faces of diners who can't help but go back for thirds. Buffets offer us a seductive bargain, unlimited indulgence. But we've seen tonight that this bargain comes with hidden costs. To our health, to our environment, to workers, and to the very food on our plates. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, as it really helps us grow.